Alright, what's up everybody? I'm ApartCarZ. Today I'm going to be taking you through the 5 killers I think you should get first in Dead by Daylight. I've got approximately 300 hours played in Dead by Daylight, so I'm still pretty new, and there's a lot of tier list videos out there from some other YouTubers that have significantly more time than me, but they've been playing so long that I think they're a little distanced from what it's like to be a new player. So I'm going to take you through, and as you can see, I still don't even have all the killers unlocked. So just to explain that, these are the 3 killers I would wait to unlock last. So Skull Merchant takes a lot to learn, and she's been nerfed into oblivion in the recent updates. The Ghoul, I personally haven't played him, but watched a lot of video of him, and there's a very high skill threshold to get good at the Ghoul. And then Xenomorph, same thing. There's a lot to learn with Xenomorph. So these are 3 killers that I would stray away from when you first start playing DBD. So when you first start, you're going to get killers like the Trapper, the Wraith, the Hillbilly, and the Nurse. Those are free killers. So out of these 4, if you were going to play any, I'd highly recommend the Wraith. And I'll play a game with you with the Wraith to show you how he's played. So with the Wraith, let's go through his perks that he starts with. So you get Bloodhound. Fresh blood marks are considerably more discernible than normal and can be tracked 4 seconds longer. This is good for newer players, because a lot of times when you're chasing after somebody and you're new to the game, you're following the blood trail, and this significantly highlights it. And again, they can be tracked 4 seconds longer. Predator, when a survivor escapes a chase, reveal their aura for 4 seconds. This is also pretty good in case you lose a survivor in those early chases. It'll show them highlighted in red. And then Shadowborn, when blinded by any means, gain 10% haste for 10 seconds. So haste just means you move faster. Again, it's okay. But out of all the 4 that you're given for free, I would say the Wraith's the best one to go with. So a build I like to run on the Wraith is Pop Goes the Weasel. This is a clown perk. This will give the Wraith 20% damage against it, or I'm sorry, this will reduce the generator by 20% of its current progress. I also like running No Way Out, which is a Trickster perk. What happens here is as you hook survivors throughout the game, it adds to the time that the gate is blocked at endgame. So starting off, if you hook no survivors, when they go to touch the gate, you'll get a notification and it'll be blocked for 12 seconds. But you get 12 additional seconds for each survivor you hook. And I like running Bamboozle with the Wraith. A lot of times people are looping you around Shack. What this does is when you vault through a window, it actually blocks the window. And then Corrupt Intervention's a good perk for the Wraith. I'm going to run something a little bit different. Corrupt Intervention blocks the 3 furthest gens, and actually, because a lot of you will probably get the Plague eventually, I'll run this perk because this is great for new players who need time setting up and figuring out where their survivors are. So the Wraith has a lot of add-ons. This is one of the best. It's an iridescent add-on, All-Seeing Spirit. It unlocks the potential in your aura reading ability while cloaked. The repair progress of all generators can be determined. So basically the gens show up in yellow, orange, etc. based on how much they've been completed. And this is another good one, Coxcomb Clapper. It renders the Wailing Bale completely silent. I don't have those right now, and again, I'm making this video from a newer player's perspective. I'm going to run Blink White, increases my cloaking speed. Anything that increases your speed or decreases cooldown is really good to run on the Wraith. And then let's see, since we're running Bamboozle, I'm going to want to vault windows faster, so I'm going to run Shadow Dance White. Let's go ahead and start looking for a match. So when you're a new player, a lot of times you may want to run a Shack offering so you know where the hatch spawns. So there's 2 different offerings for the hatch. You can do Shack or main building. But for me, I just want some blood points right now, so I'm going to run a blood point in the sacrifice category. And just again for perks, I'm running Pop Goes the Weasel, a clown perk, No Way Out, a trickster perk, Bamboozle, another clown perk, and a Corrupt Intervention from the Plague. So right now, I'm just assuming as you're playing this, you don't have any killers unlocked except the base killers. So that's why I'm starting off with this one. We'll get into some of the other killers that I recommend you actually purchase here in just a little bit. When I started this game, you only got 4 or 5 killers. Alright, we're on Larry's. So again, you start the game cloaked, and as you can see, this is Corrupt Intervention. The 3 white highlighted generators, that's likely where the survivors are. So survivors will, depending on the map, spawn as far away from you as possible. So Corrupt Intervention shows you where the gens are that are farthest from you. And I'm playing at a decently high level. So let's go ahead and chase this. I'm going to show you Bamboozle. As you can see, the window's blocked. It's a pretty good palette, so a big thing you want to do with the Wraith is cloak up to catch up to people. Oh good, he ran that. She tried to flashlight me, so now we're going to cloak to catch up. Another thing when you're cloaked, you break the pallet significantly faster. Oh, good play by him. So you also get a little bit of a speed boost when you play Wraith. Like right here, this is a perfect place for Bamboozle. And then we'll use Bamboozle again. And as you chase survivors, you get Bloodlust. There we go. He ran me for about 2 gens there. This is a really good survivor. So when uncloaking, I suggest using your body to body block the survivors. Also, when you're cloaked, you have no terror radius, but you do have this growl that you can kind of hear. And so as I'm demonstrating this killer, so see how she blocked me there? Look at a free hit. This Alucard is really good. So what I mean by body block, like he's going for this window. If I would have been able to beat him. Good flashbang. Like I said, these are really high level survivors. It should be out of pallets on this side. Alright, we'll hopefully get our Bloodlust up again. I wonder what perks this guy's running, because he is running extremely fast. I'm just having fun chasing this guy at this point. We've 100% lost this game. I'll probably do another one just to show you the power of the Wraith. Alright, we're still going to chase him. His teammates are really trying. They're doing a great job. So here's what I mean by body blocking. Oh, dang it. That's a terrible example. Oh, he messed up there. He should be hit here unless his teammate saves him. And now, because all the gens are done, we can sit here with him. But he did a great job, so hopefully he was doing a survivor loot video. And to answer a question in the chat, a terror radius is what makes the heartbeat of survivors beat and tells you that a killer's coming closer. So let's see how well these survivors get this guy. I'm going to bamboozle that window. Alright, so when that survivor came in to take a hit, this one should have came and got him. Alright, here comes all 3. Perfect. Textbook save. Oh my gosh, those guys wrecked me. No, but those guys played really well. As far as escape methods go, you can escape via the door or the hatch. Those are the only 2 ways. or via death. But the raid's definitely a killer. I'd recommend you try out first. Let me run one more game with them and see if we can do a little bit better. Those were really good survivors. This is also my first game of the day, to be honest with you. Also, I recommend, as a new player, take a look at the survivors in the loading screen. So as we can see here, we get a little bit of information, right? This guy's running a med kit. These 3 people have nothing in their hands. But I guarantee you, as we get closer to start, some of them are going to put some items in their hands. Alright, so these are the offerings. And as you can see, we have some blood point offerings. This is a map offering. So survivors and the killer both can give map offerings, right? And there's I believe it's 50% chance right now. I could be wrong on that, but I know it's going down to 20% in the future that you'll go to that map. So let's see who we're going against here. Alright, I love this map. This is a great map for survivors and killers alike. I think it slightly favors the survivors. So again, you start the game off cloaked. We're running corrupt intervention, so we see the 3 gens furthest away. So I bet the survivors spawned in this corner over here. And you want to look for crows flying down, like over here. That can sometimes tell you there's a survivor nearby. Alright. No survivors over here. Let's go check this gen over here. And survivors love to go for that top gen on the saloon. Little mind game there. We should be able to get him again on this pallet. So he's going to run it one more time, and then he's going to vault after this one. So knowing how survivors are going to play is a big part of being killer, right? And I didn't see any beamers in the lobby, so we know we're not going to get a flashlight. And I'm going to use my pop goes the weasel value up here. I don't think they'll be able to get this gen done. So we'll use pop goes the weasel, 20% value gone right there. This is how you body block. See how I kept her from going out that window? Now she is going to be able to go through this window, and somebody's probably going for rescue, so I'm going to divert actually. Break chase, see if I can get a cheeky survivor coming over. Nope. Alright, that's fine. I'm going to regress this gen a little bit. We're going to go back cloak. She's up here waiting for the save. So we can get a free hit on him. Let's put him into deep wounds. Or actually, I'm going to wait. Survivors, I believe, get 12 seconds. And we're going to body block. There we go. So this is something a lot of survivors hate, but it's called tunneling. Some people view it as unsportsmanlike. I view it as part of the game. I see you, big bro. He tried hiding in the bush. She went ahead and finished that gen. They're going to go for him now. He was running for this pallet. Perfect. Put him back on the same hook. Now, I'm not purposely trying to tunnel him. He's just the guy I came across. Free hit on him. Now I'm going to act like I'm going over here. Mr. David, I don't know where you think you're going. Do you have dead hard? No dead hard. So you see how I body blocked her on that window? That's what you want to use the Wraith for right there. So we want to push her away from the pallet. Nice, good hit. I'm gonna get some of these doors open too. That one's still regressing. You can see that by the sparks on the gen. This one has 0 progress. Oh, we do have a beamer in the lobby. So another thing, when somebody's flashlighting you, you can look down or up, and it'll keep you from getting flashlighted. So we got one dead, one on death hook. Or is 2 on death hook. Another thing you want to do is kind of count your hooks on the characters. There we go, there's another down. She tried body blocking, but it's not enough. I'll go hook her over here. This is just a really unfortunate game for these guys. This guy really had nowhere to go. I feel bad for him. Alright, because I know she's over here, I'm going to go hook them closer to over here. Should have known that was coming. Nice try, buddy. She may have decisive strike. She doesn't. So we're good to go. And that's a 4K. So that's a better game to show you how the Wraith works and how powerful he can be. I'm going to go see if I can find the hatch to show you guys what that looks like. We're just going to have to keep an eye on her because she can technically crawl to the hatch. So here's the hatch. That's what the hatch looks like. And a survivor can escape through that. But once the killer closes the hatch, survivors can only escape via the 2 doors on the map. And this is called a killer Mori. Alright, so that was a good group of survivors. I mean, we had a level 54 Laura Croft, level 30 David King. So they weren't bad at all. Alright, so that was the Wraith. Hopefully after that segment, you know a little bit about how to play them. We had one really bad match where we had some really juicy survivors that were juicing us all around the map. And then we had a good map where we had an open map where we could see everybody and use the Wraith's body blocking a little bit more effectively. So out of the base killers, the Wraith is the one I'd recommend you play first. Now, if you're going to pay money and try to get good at the game, the Clown is unbeatable. Let me show you the clown's perks real quick. So the clown, in my opinion, has the best perks in the game. So Pop Goes the Weasel is what I was running last game. And again, once you hook a survivor and you damage a gen, it loses 20% of its current progress. The clown also has Bamboozle. That's the perk I was using as Wraith to block the window when I go through it. So that comes in really handy at Shack or in jungle gyms where there's two windows. And this perk isn't the best, but some people run it. It's Choleraphobia. Oh my gosh. Survivors within your terror radius have a 40% hit penalty to healing, progression speed, and healing skill checks move 50% faster. That's a good perk to like run on the nurse with an anti-healing build. But for the clown, I'm going to run his two main perks, and I've already shown you Corrupt Intervention and No Way Out. So let's run some other perks that synergize well with the clown. I like a Dead Man Switch from the Deathslinger. So when you hook a survivor, after you hook them, if somebody stops working on the gen, that gen is immediately blocked for 40 seconds. Right, and let's do a Hex just to show you guys some Hex builds. So as a new player, if you can unlock the Blight and get Blood Favor, this is a great perk. When you injure a survivor, it blocks all the pallets. And so let's run some add-ons with the clown. So the clown has, he has two abilities with this bottle. The first is Invigoration, which makes the clown faster, but it also makes the survivors faster. So, you know, if you can do anything to decrease the amount of time it takes to reload or increase how long the effect lasts, that's good. I'm running Kerosene Can. Intoxication, which is this other ability, inflicts blindness for 30 seconds, which means they can't see my terror radius. They can't see other survivors. They can't see things with perks like Windows of Opportunity. And then I'm running Starling Feather, which decreases the bottle throw cooldown by 50%. Alright, so we're on Eyrie of Crows. This is a survivor favored map. So let's see what damage we can do with the clown here. So the clown has two bottles. You can see them, well, they're behind me in the bottom left. So this one's Intoxication. I faked a bottle throw there. Oh, great pallet throw from that survivor. So the clown gets 6 bottles, and then they have to be reloaded. This is what the reload animation looks like. And this is Invigoration. So as you can see, if I walk through it, my haste gets up and I move a lot faster. Oh, perfect. We hit him with Bamboozle. And one thing I failed to mention with the Wraith, because it never came up, but this is the basement. This is where you can hook survivors, and even if you hook them on death hook, the hooks never disappear. So as the clown, I always recommend reloading afterwards. Now let's go ahead and get some Invigoration going. So with this, you have to wait a second for it to proc. And because of these crows, I'm fairly confident a survivor went down here. There's not one. I think I got a gen completed over there. I'm going to reload my bottles mid-chase. She's pre-dropping pallets. As a survivor, unless you're going against like the Huntress or something, you really don't want to do that. So you see there, because she was intoxicated, she couldn't throw the pallet in time. I see her running over there. I'm going to try to get a bottle over there. On Eyrie of Crows, you always want to kick this door, because otherwise you have to chase them through the window every time. Alright, this should be a down. Perfect. Let's go ahead and reload while we walk here. We gotta watch out for the beamer. So I always recommend picking up against a wall like this. So we have Pop Goes the Weasel. Let's get some value. Alright, she slowed down. Give her a little speed boost. And somebody's got to be going for her over here. So that's a good perk with the clown. I was able to interrupt her picking her up. And then we'll get Pop Goes the Weasel value on this gen over here. I recommend throw your Invigoration if you know you're about to get back into chase and do something like pop a gen like I just did. So I always recommend turning away from survivors at pallets too, because then they're confused. Should I drop it? Should I not drop it? But now I think we got a hook on everybody. We'll go ahead and reload our bottles here. Alright, this is a good pallet, so I'm going to break it. And she has nothing over here. There's no way she should have been able to throw that. Got her right at basement. They'll probably get a gen off that. She did a really good job of looping us for a minute. Let's go see. They got a gen way over there in the corner. It's going to be really hard to get to. Good dead hard. If they're smart, one's still working on the gen while the other two are healing up. Some of the perks are darkened in the bottom right because they've already been used or not used yet. I do not know where they just went to. Now's our chance to get her out of the game. We got her injured. So you can even use the haste while you have somebody on your shoulder for hook. So if these two are smart, they would heal up and then go for her. We're going to see here. Let's get rid of this pallet. I have no clue where she went. And the other one's probably still over there. Very good. Very good. Good job by those guys. Alright, so again, the clown's one I recommend purchasing specifically for the perks themselves. But the clown is a brutal killer. Alright, in terms of what killers to purchase next. So let's see. The next one on the list, Pyramid Head, no. I would say Deathslinger's a good starter character. Let's play him. So Deathslinger's perks. He has Retribution. Any survivor interacting with a Dole Totem or Hex Totem will suffer from Oblivious status effect for 40 seconds. Then he's got Dead Man Switch. This is why I say you buy him. This is one of the best perks in the game. That's where when you hook a survivor, if a survivor then gets off a gen, it blocks it for 40 seconds. And then he's got Gearhead. After survivor loses a health state, by any means, Gearhead activates for 30 seconds. While it's active, every time a survivor performs a good skill check while repairing, their aura is revealed to you for 6 seconds. It's okay. With this killer, I'm going to be running his perk Dead Man Switch, Pop Goes the Weasel, No Way Out, and Franklin's Demise. Franklin's Demise is one we haven't ran yet in this video. But what this does is when you hit a killer with a basic attack, it makes them drop their item. And then the item, over time, progressively loses charge. If they don't pick it up after 120 seconds, it goes from full charge to no charge. So we're on the McMillan Estate, which is a good map for the Deathslinger. A lot of open area, but there are a lot of obstacles too. So the Deathslinger's unique power is he can use his gun here to shoot survivors and reel them in. And I'll kind of show you what that looks like. We already got a survivor blowing a gen over here, so let's head over here. This could be a distraction. I'll try to show you how this works here. So when you reel it, you can reel a survivor, and what's important is then you basic attack. That puts them into the mangled effect, and then I do not recommend reloading if you still have a possibility to catch them. So every time you shoot, you then have to reload, and like now would be a decent time to reload. I'm actually going to take this survivor over here to the basement. So after hooking, now I'm going to reload. This is the reload animation. As you can see, it takes a little bit of time and slows you down, but it's not terrible. That's Dead Man Switch right there. You can see that a survivor got off the gen, and I see Steve over here to the right. Get a little reel in on Steve. And I'm going to go ahead and reload. They're going for this survivor. So let's see if we can put some pressure. An important thing about the Death Slinger is you can shoot through windows. So he's probably hiding in a locker nearby. So now we have 3 in basement. As you can see, the Death Slinger is really good with pressure on survivors. And they pretty much given up. We have put a ton of pressure here, so I'm going to go ahead and reload. So we got a 4K in basement with the Death Slinger. So again, when you shoot, remember, you have to reel them in with the right trigger, and then you have to hit them with the left trigger. It's not that hard, but some people struggle with it when they first unlock the killer. There are some perks that allow you to get yourself off hooks. But that was an easy 4K with the Death Slinger. We hooked all 4 in basement. Alright, so that's our 3rd killer that I recommend unlocking. And again, his perk Dead Man Switch is great for starter players. Alright, let's go ahead and go on to the 4th killer I recommend unlocking. The Onryo is pretty good. She doesn't quite make the list. So is the Dredge. Unfortunately, the 4th would have been Cenobite, but you can't buy him anymore. Nemesis is a really good one to go for, too. But the Plague will be the 4th one I recommend unlocking. There is a little bit of a learning gap here. So I would say this is the last character out of the 5 you get. But with her, let's run some new perks. We've been running a lot of Pop Goes the Weasel. Let's do like a Hex build with Blood Favor. So I'm going to run her perk, Corrupt Intervention. So I'm going to do Hex Face the Darkness, which makes the survivors scream. And there's a lot of good perks from the Hag. I recommend unlocking her if you got the money. I think I'm going to do Undying. So Undying protects your hexes, right? So if they would have cleansed one, it actually switches it to a different totem. And then I'm going to increase the charge rate of my Vile Purge and Corrupt Purge by 50%, and increase Object Infection duration by 30%, or 30 seconds. Alright, we're in the Forsaken Boneyard. Again, this is a survivor favored map. This is the sister map to Eyrie of Crows. So with the Plague, you have Vile Purge. So you can infect objects like this, and you see how it turned green now? Now if a survivor interacts with that, they will become infected. So I'm going to go ahead and infect everything over here. These fountains are what they use to uninfect themselves, but when they do, the fountain turns red, and then I get what's called Corrupt Purge, which allows me... So they're already on one of my totems. That's a very bad totem. And she sees my other one. So, do you see that little green mark around her? That means she's infected. And this will force her to cough. Alright, so now Blood Favor comes in. And we'll have to be careful because we know when she gets unhooked, they're going to go on this hex immediately. It's important to note that survivors on the hook that are infected, when another survivor gets them off, they will infect them as well. Oh, very dangerous to be going on this hill. Alright, they got both my hexes. Both my hexes were in very bad locations. Oh, they got her up quick. Alright, so that sound you heard was a fountain being cleansed. So let's go see if it was this one, and it was. So now we're going to get our Vile Purge. This allows us to insta-down survivors who are in the injured state. Alright, they got my third Hex. And she's down. And because she puked, she couldn't flashlight me. Let's go ahead and get some more corrupt. See if we can't keep the pressure on. That gen over there is almost done. Really good play by her. I'll get it easy down. Nicely done. I don't know what she was doing there. Alright, there we go. Easy. And we know where the other two are. They're probably beaming right over here. I want to make sure they don't get this gen done. And we see the last survivor. Nice try, buddy. Nice try. And that's a 4K. So that's how you play the Plague. And I'll get to the next killer right after this. And one more quick thing for the Plague here. This is what her Mori looks like, just in case you were curious. So again, so far, I've recommended the Plague. I've recommended the Deathslinger. I've recommended the Wraith. I've recommended the Clown. Those are 4 I'd recommend you start with if you're a brand new killer looking to get into the game. Alright, and now to our final killer. This one takes a little bit more skill, and a lot of people who played longer than me will disagree, but I think the Demogorgon is a great killer to start with. The Demogorgon starts off with the perks Cruel Limits. Every time a generator is completed, all windows and vault locations are blocked for all survivors. Not the best, but this perk Mindbreaker is crazy good. While repairing generators, survivors are afflicted by the blindness and exhausted effect. And then he also has Surge. You'll see a lot of high-level killers running this. When you down a survivor within a 32-meter radius of an active generator, it explodes it. So let's see if we can't get into a match here. Alright, we're on Backwater Swamp playing the Demogorgon. So I'll explain his powers to you real quick. The Demogorgon has 2 specific powers. One is he has a lunge attack, like this, called Shred. I'll show you what that does in a second. The other is he can open up portals. So remember, we're running Bamboozle, Surge, Deadman, Switch, and Blood Favor. So we do have a totem in a really good location over here. I'm actually going to put a portal down right here so we can come back and check that occasionally. So what do the portals do? I'll show you in just a second. I like to put them kind of near gens. Put another portal right over here. You can't put them right next to hooks. But what I can do is go back and forth to my portals. So go ahead and... we know they're going to come back to that one, so let me go put some pressure on the guy doing this gen up here. That's a shred attack. It's kind of like a long lunge attack. So you do get a little bit of where's this guy at? Caught him off guard, didn't we, Bill? So that's the power of the demo right there. They're probably going to complete those 2 gens over there, which I'm not a big fan of. Let's try to get over there with our portal. Alright, she's running us away. She's got sprint burst. A little bit of mind game in there. Nice. Now, the best reason to use your portals is the undetectable status effect you get. They did just get the boat done. Nice little hit over there. So you can also use your shred to instantly shred pallets like that. We're going to bamboozle that so she can't use it again. She's probably going to try and run back. Really good pallet by her. We're going to break chase and go for this gen over here. Make sure nobody's on our hex. And maybe get some crops map distance. Nice, nice, nice. We're not doing too bad. We've only gotten 2 hooks, which is the problem. She was trying to close my portal, and she was oblivious while doing so. Let's see if anybody's found my hex yet. They have not. Now that survivor's pretty good. Another free hit there. Dead hard, it didn't work. We got surge value on that gen. Definitely don't want to waste our time on her because she already got 1 gen done. So what's the point of breaking a pallet once they're thrown? A lot of higher level killers won't break a lot of pallets, but there are certain ones that you have to break or it's an infinite loop. With the demo, oh, we're going to get her. With the demo, you can insta-break them, so I don't mind them at all. Nice surge value. So this is a little bit sweaty of a game. I really like it. I'm going to go ahead and open a portal over here. And these survivors are in a bit of a pickle right now. They've 3-gen themselves, so I have 3 gens that are very easy to patrol. I don't even think they found this gen. Alright, she's playing really well. She knows I'm running Bamboozle. And she's going to try looping me around here again. But we'll hit her with a little bit of a mind game. There we go. Great job there. I think the other one makes it, but let's make it hard for her to make it. I'm so sorry, my friend. Your teammate left you. And that's the Demogorgon, the 5th killer I recommend you unlock when first starting the game. A lot of the killers are for the perks. Remember, at Demo, Deathslinger, they're going to be hard to learn. But with some time, you'll get used to them. You're mostly buying them for the perks. Again, I'd recommend just starting out with the Wraith and going from there. But with that, thank you guys for joining, and I'll see you on the next one.